Hello, I got a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at a quite easy to play meta team here for the Open Great League. We're going to have a team here around the Bibarel, but we don't have the normal Bibarel, we don't have the Shadow Bibarel. No, we're going to have the Purified Bibarel, have access to the move Return, and we're going to see here today as well certain matchups where this are really gonna come in clutch, winning us the battles, and certain matchups where this is going to be a bit of a pain. But yeah, today we're gonna take a look at a team that's quite easy to build and quite easy to use as well. Gaston and Bibarel are quite easy to build for sure. For the Shadow Jumpluff, I guess this takes a little bit more starters, but it was also a community day Pokemon, so a lot of people have this Pokemon. You can use the normal variant. I really would like to build the normal variant. But here, for example, take a close look. This is one example where the Return really helps. This was not a, usually a Hyper Fang or another Surf would have not been able to knock them out there, a Return does. And this is the beauty of Return, and this is the beauty of aligning yourself and winning the first matchup without really any issues. Again, as basically always in those videos recently, especially for the Open Great League, you're going to see every single battle that I'm gonna do here today, and this is going to give you some intel on what to do different, but also in general on how strong this team is if you just start off with this one. And I have to say, this team was amazing. This team really worked out well, and I definitely know that there were some certain matchups where I could have played a little bit better, but I just didn't, and that is then my own fault, of course. Here, we're going to be able to go for the Energy Ball, and this hopefully going to put them into the Surf range with our Bibarel. Bibarel having that Purified aura around it, of course going to give away basically the moves already as well, but Stab Return is definitely not something to joke about. Honestly, I actually need to know real quick how strong Return is actually here, because I don't really know on how the damage calculation is for Return. I think it was like 130 damage, I don't know actually. Return, I think it got nerfed actually. It is the 130 damage. That is a lot of damage. Like Hyper Beam is actually just tiny bit better than Return in terms of the damage per energy. This means that Return is actually a really strong move. I didn't actually know it was that strong. But yeah, Return for sure a good move to have on this Pokemon. And that's a benefit of Hyper Fang compared to like Return as well. Hyper Fang, for example, is only going to have a damage per energy count of 1.6, while Return has a damage per energy count of 1.85. And basically Surf is, let me see real quick, Surf on the side as well. Surf is a 1.66, so basically if both the Hyper Fang as well as Surf is neutral, you're always basically gonna go for the Surf, because Surf is cheaper and still does more damage per energy. Well, in this case now, all of a sudden Return going to allow you to have a move that takes my energy, does a lot more damage, but also has a better damage per energy count, making it a bit better in terms of just the coverage, in terms of the damage output, and this is really good for this Pokemon. That's why I really enjoy the Return on this Pokemon. I think it is the best move on this Pokemon by far, compared to, for example, the Hyper Beam. You're going to need only, of course, now 10 or less energy, allowing you to get this move off, I think, one fast move earlier, which is really beneficial. But of course, there's also some issues compared to a Hyper Fang, for example, in like matchups. I guess not really here, to be fair. Here we're going to lose no matter what. I have to let the move go through here to hope that they're going to go for the Psychic Fangs, which they do somehow. That's kind of cool for us. Maybe we still have a chance here. Here, if I had Hyper Fang, I would have already got the move off before the opponent would have even got that move off there. I don't know if a Hyper Fang would have knocked them out though, and this is like the question, but even then I think it would have put them into range for my Jumpluff and I would have been able to win the battle. This battle we're gonna lose because we don't have Hyper Fang, but again, we had a battle beforehand that we won because we had Return, so like it is definitely not always the best move to have. Next opponent here is, very strong opponent. Like, this player is very strong, has a great lead against us sadly here as well. And also they're making great calls here. Like, this player, if you didn't know, hit rank 1 in the world before several times. I showcased their teams a lot of times on this channel. Shoutouts to you, always appreciate it. But yeah, they are a very good battler, which also showcased again. All of the top teams that I had like recently where I was like, oh, I go 5-0 with this Pokemon and go like whatever. Like, I think like in the last like 2 days, 4 teams with 5-0s. It's not because I just gonna go 0-5 the entire time otherwise. No, I actually have a lot of wins right now and have a very solid win rate as well. And so I'm definitely very happy about my win rate currently as well. Let me know down below what your win rate is. For me currently I have 55 wins and 75 games. Means I have a 73% win rate in the Go Battle League. Which is definitely solid at this point. And I know that I lost like 2 to 3 of those due to lag. And I know that also I want like 5 to 6 or something I could have won if I played it better, just like this one there as well. So there's always room for improvement. I always kind of wish that I would have like some matchups where I don't do any mistakes. You know, sometimes the opponent make mistakes though as well. For example, if they let a return go through against a Primeape. Here, just for a few facts, I can just put on the same battle on the side real quick. A Hyper Fang never gonna knock them out there. A Surf never gonna knock them out there. This is the thing, while the Primeape is definitely a Pokemon that is quite squishy, it is not squishy enough to get knocked out by a Hyper Fang. Hyper Fang only does 65% of the opponent's health, while a return, as you just saw, does 105%. This is a ginormous difference, and this is exactly what I kind of want to talk about. Yeah, this move itself is so good for this Pokemon in so many situations where you're just going to be able to hit a hard-hitting return. And yeah, I definitely do not regret using the Purification on this very great IV Shadow variant of this Pokemon. While the Shadow variant is kind of higher ranked, I do think that the Return variant might be the better one to go for currently. And so, yeah, definitely depends on what you want to do, to be fair. Like, you can both run a Shadow Bibarel, or you can go for the Return variant. As you can see here, we're going to have the Clodsire against us. We have to go for a Body Slam here, just to get some shields, guess, from the opponent. We can go for another Body Slam. It's not going to knock them out. They are too bulky for us to knock them out at this rate. But they are going to be in a range now where I can even Fairy Wind them down. Like, what is the point here for the opponent? Go for your Earthquake, go knock me out. What do you want to do against Jumpluff? I don't know. They don't know. They're going to take an Energy Ball now. There's no Ice Beam or anything coming through. Good game there. Move on to the next opponent. Let's see. Horrible lead for us. We're going to have the Typhlosion against us. But we have two good answers against this Pokemon in the back. And I have to say, Bibarel was a lot of fun to play because a lot of people, as soon as they see a Rollout user, they just swap out into their Ground-type Pokemon, not against Bibarel. And this is also one of the main reasons why I feel like Bibarel is going to have a lot of play in the upcoming meta. It has still enough bulk to withstand some moves here, but also it's going to be able to bait out potentially Pokemon that don't actually want to battle against Bibarel, which is kind of hilarious. As you can see here now as well, we're going to be able to let the move go through. I will just take this one. I will have to take a Fire Punch as well still on my Jumpluff, but it is worth it here for sure. There's no doubt about it. Fire Punch is going to now connect against us. It is going to be able to get some damage onto us, and we're going to try our best here with the Energy Ball that is coming in next. This is going to allow us to get the KO against the opponent. In comes the Typhlosion, in comes the Starmie, and we should be in a very solid spot now. But I also can still mess that up, and we will see here how I can mess it up. I show in for the Earth Power, great play by the opponent here by, yeah, calling the bait. And I decided to use Shield here. It's gonna be a Surf. And I decided to go for a Body Slam here. It's gonna be very likely gonna get shielded. Let's find out here. It is. And I'm a bit scared of the Typhlosion now, and being scared can be very scary. As you will see here as well, I am one fast move away of getting to another move with my other one with my Gaston here, so I would be able to outspeed them here. But luckily, I have also my Jumpluff, and I can use a shield here with my Jumpluff, and the opponent's Typhlosion goes down to a Grass-type Pokemon, and the Starmie also goes down to a Grass-type Pokemon, making this a good game. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have the Wigglytuff against us. So Wigglytuff is going to be an interesting one here for the Jumpluff. If you didn't know, you should be able to get to one Energy Ball and an Aerial Ace before the opponent can go for an Icy Wind. But in this case, there is not really a reason for me. As you can see here, I would have been able to get to the Aerial Ace before. But I just want to get some energy here and then swap out because my backline is fine against it. Like, one return is going to knock them out here. There's no doubt about this one. They're going to be able to catch the move. Oh wow, they catch the move onto a Gastrodon. Good job there. Doing, what, 70%? What the hell? Like, the damage output is ridiculous. I actually did not know that there was actually 130 damage plus stab on top of it as well. That is madness. You need a return on this one. It is so much fun to run this Pokemon with a return. And it's one of the cheapest Pokemon to build as well, which is kind of ridiculous. I think it costs like 8,000 for this star, like for the second charge move there. And it doesn't even need a high level either. And it is just kind of a great Pokemon to have. It needs to be level 33.5 apparently for the number 1 Pokemon. Here, if you have Purified anyway, you have minimum 2 attack, dropping the level even further, making this Pokemon even more accessible as it starts off at, I think, level 25 anyway if you Purify it. So it is such an easy Pokemon to build, it is such a good Pokemon to have, and it's definitely something that's worth it. Next opponent, Rollout user in the lead, means we swap out into our own Rollout user. To be fair, here I make a bit of a mistake. I should go for one favorite and then swap out. This would align my fast move with the opponent's fast move, but as I was able to go for my own surf before the opponent gets to a move, I was able to actually, kind of negate the disadvantage that we have for swapping out. And so the opponent is going to be able to swap out now them as well. I decided to use a shield against the opponent before, mainly for the reason that I expected maybe something like a solar beam, maybe something like a hyper beam, something that could one-shot me. I didn't really want to get hit by it. And here we decided to swap out into our Jumpluff against the opponent's Ariados. Here I have still the super effective hits against them, and I also do think it's going to be the better play to go like this, because this is going to allow us to get the KO here or the shield. The shield would be a worse for us. They decide to use a shield. That's a bit of an awkward one, because now they're going to be able to knock me out still with a lunge. That is not ideal at all after the buff that they had before. But I can still get the knockout here with the Surf, which is going to be great, allowing me to also keep a lot of energy for the next matchup that's coming in. It's going to be the Licky again, and I can catch the move. And this could be crucial here for the end game as well. Body Slam is going to connect. They stay in here, giving me some energy, and they swap out into the Clodsire. This is going to be, I think, a very, very good game, as Clodsire does not appreciate any of this one. They can go for even an Earthquake if they want to. I don't really care. There is nothing they can do here with their Licky. Body Slam is coming through. Even if they're gonna knock me out here, how do they want to take out 2 Pokemon at this point? There's no way. This is going to be it. This is going to be it for this battle as well. And we can now move on to the next opponent. Also, while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, if you also enjoy the Bibarel, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. Here's one thing that should be illegal. Honestly, why is the Gastron matchup so bad against the Drapion? Yes, you're going to be able to win this one usually, but here we even get the defense drop, which was a bit silly, which I didn't actually see, I think. I make a mistake here. I think I let the move go through. Silly me, I didn't see the defense drop. That was definitely silly. I will still lost the battle, most likely. I will still most likely get knocked out. Luckily, the opponent decides to be like, yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead, go into my, grass type Pokemon against your flying and grass type Pokemon. That doesn't make any sense at all. Yes, they have Aerial Ace. Yes, it's going to be super effective, but also we have Aerial Ace and we're going to be able to two-shot them. So, yeah, what do they really want to do here? I am not too sure. But we have another Aerial Ace going to connect here. The opponent decides to stay in, apparently. I can use a shield as well against the opponent. It's going to be a little bit of a back and forth here, apparently, as the Aerial Ace is going to now connect. We have another charge move coming their way. It is going to allow us to get the shield from the opponent, and we can try our best now to maybe just go for a little bit of an overfarm and then go for another charge move. Turns out the opponent catches the move onto a Stunfisk, and that is bad. That is very, very bad. As now the opponent is going to have enough coverage to really knock out basically everything on my team, and that is not really great, I would say. Surf is coming through. Is Surf doing more damage total than the return? I actually have to see this real quick, because this might have been a better play for me to go for the return here. As let's take a look here. Return does a total damage of 98, and Surf does a little bit. Yeah, actually, I should have went for the return. I would have won the battle. That is kind of ridiculous. That's my fault. That is my fault. I didn't know this, but yeah, return would have won me the battle there. And again, showcasing that along the way you can learn some stuff. And again, for this Pokemon, I feel like Return is actually now, after looking at the gameplay a little bit more and seeing the potential of it, kind of necessary. I feel like Return is the best move to go for Bibarel. Get yourself a Return, a Bibarel. Bibarel is going to appreciate it. You're going to appreciate it. We're all going to appreciate it. And so there is nothing that should stop you to get yourself a nice and comfy Return Bibarel. Anyway, we're gonna see the Dunsparce against us. So not really the best rollout user anymore. And we have a new rollout user in the town. I guess still Dunsparce has some potential. The thing with Dunsparce is I just hate how bad this Pokemon is against fighting type Pokemon. Yes, it's a normal type Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but like it's so clunky, it doesn't really do that much. And also then again against like those ground type Pokemon, I feel like it's very easy to hard counter if you have like the certain Pokemon in the back. And that's what I don't really like about Dunsparce. I think Dunsparce is still a great closer, especially even if you run, for example, the Bibarel. For Bibarel, I don't really see a Pokemon that really hardwalls us, which is really, really good. There is going to be a Pokemon which I don't really know now, like for example an Empoleon that resists both of, or like all 3 moves of Bibarel. Don't get me wrong, those Pokemon still exist. But still, this team like was a lot of fun to play. Don't get me wrong, this team was really nice to play, and Bibarel was still a very strong Pokemon as well. Here, as you can see, we're gonna be forced to use a shield eventually, and I do literally the last second shield. The game doesn't even show it anymore until the end, and so we're gonna see the opponent going for another charge move here. It is going to be this time around the big earthquake, forcing us to go a bit lower than we wanted to, but it doesn't really matter because we can go for the BM return, knock them out, and that's going to be it for this video. Check out the 2 videos on the screen here as well, and I will see you then. Bye bye.